What's good, everybody, man? This is the Live at Fire Throwdown with your boy JTM, man.
And Monster.
This is episode 3. If you ain't tuned us in for the first 2 episodes, you definitely missed. But we got a show for you today. Trust me on that. What we talking about today, Monster, man?
Man, we're going to talk about the way the Buffalo Bills match up with every other team in the AFC East. And we got a couple other juicy topics that we're going to sprinkle in for your enjoyment because that's what we like to do.
Yeah, matter of fact, not only going to talk about the Bills, we're going to break down every single AFC East team. Anything interesting over the weekend, Monster? Do you want to talk about before we dive on in?
No, I had a pretty calm weekend, JT. It was nice and relaxing. I needed it to find my zen and keep my chi right. So I'm feeling pretty good this week coming into the show.
All right. Let's do this. All right, so the first thing we're going to jump into, man, is I want to talk about the New York Jets, first and foremost. First thing we're going to hop into at the AFC East. Now, the Jets, I thought they had a pretty good offseason. I would say they had a pretty good offseason, in my opinion. Which is thought.
They still got gaping holes as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? The backfield is a huge concern for me. And still the quarterback position. It's still the quarterback position. Bridgewater, how's he going to come back after the injury? Is he going to compete for the starting job? Is Darnold going to be ready to take the starting job? And behind them, you got Bryce Petty. Who wants to start Bryce Petty? So, I mean, they made a lot of moves that improved them, but they still have glaring weaknesses at key spots as far as I'm concerned.
You know what? One thing I say about the Jets is when Rex Ryan was there and Tannenbaum was there, it was all about the splash moves. Even when Bowles got there, they're making solid football moves. When I look at an addition of Trumaine Jones, an addition of Terrell Pryor, of tight end Clive Walford, Avery Williamson is the big one for me. Isaiah Crowell and Thomas Rawls. Those are solid football players. And in the past, the Jets may have went for that aging vet that had the name. They may have went for that top player from college that had the name. It's solid. It's building a solid football team. I love the receiving core. I think the receiving core is vastly underrated.
Right, Pryor's going to damage there.
Right. As far as the Noonwood coming back, Terrell Pryor, and Robbie Anderson, who I actually love Anderson. I mean, he got us a couple times in Buffalo last year. I think between those three and the Clive Walford, you're given a receiving core with these backs and Carollo, Powell, and Rawls as a stability for a quarterback. Now, I don't see Darnold starting.
So who takes it?
I got a feeling it's going to be McCown again, because they're saying Bridgewater's looking good in camp, but then they're also talking about a trade piece. If someone's going to give you a high-value trade for trading Bridgewater, you almost have to take that because you know going forward Darnold's going to be your guy regardless.
Right.
And I don't know if Teddy's looking to be in no mentor role.
No. He still wants to play. So I think he's got a lot to prove. I think if it came down to Darnold or Bridgewater, I think Bridgewater may have the edge. If he's physically capable.
Right. I mean, and then I look at the linebacking core. I look at the addition of Avery Williamson along with Darren Lee coming along a little bit better last year. Think those are two fast, athletic linebackers. And I know Todd Bowles from his time as even in Arizona, he likes his fast linebackers.
Yeah, the Jets have always had a solid defense. That's never been a problem with the Jets. It's the same thing with the Bills. We'll have solid defense, and we just can't get it right on offense to put those points up to support the defense. You know what I mean? Or keep drives sustained to get them off the field. So the Jets are going to have a solid defense. They do every year. You should go to timeout for bringing up Rex Ryan's name in our podcast, though.
Hey, man. Sexy Rexy is still around, man. He's still around. He's left his remnants over multiple franchises. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, he sure has. Right. But you flip those around. You flip the tools around that we just talked about with the Jets, and you put them in comparison to what we have on defense, and they don't scare me. They don't scare me at all. The Jets don't scare me at all with the weapons they have. Yeah, they could be vastly improved. They could be a little bit better, but they're still not going to do anything against the blue and white. Our defense is stacked. And the weapons they have, I just don't see it.
Now, we know here in Buffalo we've had a Twitter war with Jamal Adams going on for a while here. Do you see him as an elite safety?
No. I don't see him at all. When I think of elite safeties, I don't think of him. He doesn't come to mind at all. So,
good safety. Good safety,
Yeah,
but I don't see elite. It doesn't scream elite. I mean, you have Tremaine Jones and Claiborne at the secondary, which it seems solid, but I also feel like you can fall off a rock really quick with those two cornerbacks.
absolutely. Look how quick Seattle's secondary just fell apart. Boom. Like, ooh, those days are gone.
I mean, and Tremaine Jones has come off 2 knee injuries, and Claiborne hasn't always been solid. We just say
No,
that at the very
they're
least.
nicked. Yeah, they're nicked. They're nicked. It's not going to be a cakewalk for them. I'll tell you that.
Right. What about Todd Bowles? Is he on the hot seat at all? Do you think he has any pressure on him? Do you think that, hey, we're going to give you a couple more years, maybe 2 years here?
I think they'll give him time to develop Darnold. I really do. I think they'll give him time to develop Darnold. I think they know what they have on the field. They know they're not giving this guy a fair run with the talent they're putting out there. He's trying his best, and I think he's done a pretty good job, to be honest with you, squeezing the talent that was on that team into the records that they've had over the past couple of years. So no, I think Todd Bowles. I think they'll give him. I'd be surprised if they didn't, but I mean, if the season implodes and they start 0-7, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull the plug.
Right. Understandable. Understandable. Let's move on down to our rivals,
Moving on.
the Dolphins. Now, it seems to me that every couple years with Miami, we have the same issue. They build a team looks okay, struggle during the beginning of the season, they hit a hot patch, they get it together, they make the playoffs, they come back the next season expecting bigger things. They fall on their face, 5-11, 6-10, 7-9. They get rid of half the team that got into the playoff the year before, and they start all over again. It's been a recurring thing since pretty much Jay Fiedler. After the Jay Fiedler, it's been constant turnover.
They don't have any idea what they're doing. They're trying to do two things at once. They're trying to sustain and maintain and win now, but they're also trying to rebuild at the same time. It's not working. They haven't broken it down yet to do a complete rebuild. They're still trying to be competitive, and you can't do both in this league. Not you know what I mean? Not nowadays. You have to either commit to the rebuild or you have to say, okay, I evaluated my team. I got enough talent on this roster to actually make a push for it. And they're kind of stuck in purgatory, and they just can't get it right.
No, you're right. I mean, there was a lot of reports last season of turmoil in the locker room as normal. How much of that turmoil do you think was created by Adam Gase? Because we're going to see Jarvis Landry, who I absolutely I adore Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking there.
I mean, that's my guy.
Yeah, Landry is a beast. I think with the strong personality that Gase has, yeah, because you got to understand, you have a locker room full of 54 millionaires. Everybody's got egos. Everybody's got brands. You know what I mean? There's no chance that everybody gets along. And when you have an abrasive personality, a forceful guy in the locker room such as Gase, I could absolutely see him rubbing people the wrong way, the way he does things. So I could attribute a lot of the turmoil to maybe being his persona and the way he does things in the locker room. I can absolutely see that he caused some of those problems himself.
Right. So with that whole, because we saw last year when they lost Jay Ajayi, not saying they didn't replace him, Kenyon Drake came in and did a commendable job. But, and let me reset a second. Let me reset a second on Jay Ajayi. I personally feel Jay Ajayi is overrated. I feel that most running backs in this league are overrated. That's just my personal opinion. But for a lot of Dolphins fans, that's a hole for them, so-called, whatever.
Right.
Can you replace the production from Ndamukong Suh? Can you replace the production from a Jarvis Landry? Can you reproduce the production of a Jay Ajayi?
No, not with what they put in there. They're going to need the pieces around them to step up and play a bigger role. And I don't see the depth and talent for them to do that. You don't replace Ndamukong Suh. You know what I mean? You don't replace Ajayi. Yeah, Martin or Drake, Kenyon Drake can absolutely surprise next year. And with Frank Gore there, who knows? Frank Gore to me is the wild card there. Frank Gore is just Mr. Steady over time. The dude never slows down. He never stops. You know what I mean? So I think if Drake steps up, I think that'll ease some of the burden from Ajayi. But as far as the defense goes, you know what I mean? You don't replace those guys. And Landry, with the wide receivers they have, I mean, it's thin. Steele, Amendola, you know what I mean? Dr. Parker, it's just, I don't see it. I don't see him replacing
Good receivers. Good receivers.
but not Jarvis Landry.
good receivers turn into average receivers when you get rid of an elite guy. And I do feel that Jarvis Landry is elite. Like I said, if I had to start a team today, no matter where it is, I'm picking a Jarvis Landry because that's a do-it-all guy.
Right.
That's a do-it-all guy. What? They had some good pickups. And Josh Sitton at guard, at Minka Fitzpatrick at safety, Mike Gesicki. And, I'm not really high on the Frank Gore pick. I mean, if you're trying to build a locker room or a culture or a process, as we say here in Buffalo, he's a good guy for that. But let's be honest about it. Let's be honest about it. It's a farewell tour.
Yeah,
I'm from Florida. I went to Miami. I'm coming back home for my last year, and I'm going to ride off into the sunset.
That's it.
How many wins you got Miami getting this year?
Miami, I got 6.
You got 6. Even with the Tannehill coming back.
I'm not sold on Tannehill. I don't think Tannehill makes it past week 2. With a knee like that, getting injured as often and as severe as it is, it's soft like church music. You know what I mean? Wet toilet tissue. That's not going to hold up. Tannehill's done as far as I'm concerned. I've been through major knee surgery, my MCL and my ACL, and I know what it's like. I couldn't imagine going through it twice and doing the profession that he does it. So I think Tannehill's I think he's done. And I think Tannehill's done, and he's not going to be a factor. I think going forward, they're going to have to figure that out. I don't think Tannehill's the answer.
I mean, you know what? I'm a Tannehill guy. I've liked Tannehill for some years now. I do. I've liked Tannehill for some years. I think he's a little underrated. I know a lot of people call me crazy, but I feel like he's underrated.
You got to go to timeout again. You got to go to timeout again for that. You just said
I can't go to listen. Let me explain why. I'll explain why I feel like he's underrated. When you have a team like that, right? When he's playing good, they're winning. But you can't have a young quarterback shoulder the weight of a team that has no cohesiveness and constant turnover. He's not Tom Brady. I get it. He's not Tom Brady. He's not going to lead you to the promised land as a quarterback and just lead you, at the helm. But I feel like he can be a decent quarterback in this league.
You feel like he's better than A.J. McCarron?
Yes, I feel like he's better. Yes, I feel like he's better than A.J. McCarron.
Well, time will tell. Time will tell. We'll see how the wheel holds up this year. If his wheel holds up.
Let's really think about A.J. McCarron here, right? He got his shot in Cincinnati somewhat. He looked halfway decent, halfway competent.
He did.
He went to free agency where a lot of teams needed quarterbacks, and he got a low ball offer from Buffalo, and they still drafted the quarterback in the first round.
Because Allen was the plan all along. McCarron was our fail-safe.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Does Adam Gase make it through the season?
Again, it's the same situation. The same situation as the Jets. If he starts off and it's a complete train wreck and they go 0-5, 0-6, I can completely see him pulling the trigger. But then again, you pull the trigger on these coaches, you're right back to another start and another new system and new coordinators. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's the lesser of two evils. Do you keep starting over? Or do you just say, you know what? I'm going to hire you in 5 years. If our team is still garbage, I'll talk about a new regime. But let's be honest. A job as complicated as an NFL head coach or front office, you need at least 2-3 years just to figure out what's going on. Your first year, you're going to be dumping players that the other coaches have that you don't want on your roster. You know what I mean? It takes time to build, and unfortunately, it's such a win-now culture that these coaches don't get the time they deserve. Now, some of them get more than enough, and some of them don't deserve it. But I think to give 1, 2, even 3 years, especially on a franchise that starts at the bottom. Now, if you're getting hired into New England, who made the playoffs, yeah, you're expected right away to produce results and keep it going. But if someplace like the Jets, Cleveland, you know what I mean? Someplace like that, you should be expected to get your tenure in, be able to build what you need to build, and shape the team around your vision for that team.
Yeah. I want to backtrack just 1 second here because I wanted to talk about Miami's defense, but I want to go back to the Jets' defense. And when I look at the defense, if those cornerbacks work out, I just want people to know that Todd Bowles over, he's building an elite defense. If those corners work out, without those cornerbacks, they're going to be in a world of trouble. But with those cornerbacks, he's building defense. But when I look at Miami's defense, I'm looking at way too many holes. Like I said, I don't think they're going to replace Ndamukong Suh, and that's the biggest hole for me.
No, they're not going to replace Suh. And it's like I said, it's going to have to be by committee. Like there was no big splashes that they made to replace that talent, and you just don't replace that talent. We know firsthand when Darius was gone how our defense lacked in penetration and sacks, and it was a lot easier to run on. It's the same thing there. Who do they have that's going to command that double team like Sue did to allow them backers and those corners to blitz and free up, opportunities to get at the quarterback? It's not going to be there. That's a huge hole to fill.
I mean, I think too at some points in time, when it comes to especially defensive ends, defensive tackles, anybody in the front four, sometimes what is expected of them is a ton. And you think when they're not producing at the level that they maybe possibly once did, that hey, this player's not playing good. But there's somebody on the bench who can't do half of what they do. And I think this is gonna be a problem with Ndamukong too.
Yeah. He's declined, but he's still better than what you got.
There's no one in that defense that scares me. No one.
No, I think they're going to be a train wreck. I think they're going to sit at the bottom with the Jets.
All right.
We're
going to come back to the Dolphins buy or sell. So now let's get to the Pats.
Don't do it.
We got to go to the Pats. We have to go to the Pats.
All right, let's talk about my buddy Tom Brady.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of things going on with New England. There's been a lot of chit chat, little talk, a lot of little things coming out, things that we're not accustomed to. Well, hell.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm calling it here on episode 3. All right, 2 or 3 years after the Brady regime's done, Belichick's done, you're going to start to see people come out with weird little stories or secrets or just strange things that happen in the Patriots organization. Just the stories that have already surfaced. You know that it goes deeper. There's going to be really strange stories we're going to hear. I wouldn't be surprised if more cheating allegations came out after the fact. They exposed a lot more stuff. It's just got to be a weird culture. Like, I look at Tom Brady and that whole team. It's like robots. It's like the Stepford Wives. Like, there's just something off about it. You know what I mean? I don't like him, and you got me talking about him.
Well, I mean, we've known for almost better part of almost 20 years that New England is so-called Pleasantville.
Yeah.
Things don't seem to be so pleasant anymore.
You don't run an organization at that high of a level for that long, and you don't have some dirty skeletons in your closet that are going to come out. You know what I mean? They're going to come out down the road. And as a Bills fan, I can't wait to sit there and watch these stories prosper so I can laugh at everybody that's a New England fan. Because it's 20 years building up, and I got a lot of it I want to share.
Well, we still got a little bit of time because number 12 is still coming to camp. So we may have a little bit of time for that. But looking at their offseason, I think out of the entire AFC East, unfortunately, once again, I have to say that they've had the best offseason. They've retooled.
But why?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, because, I mean, you lose Nate Solder, right? You lose Nate Solder, left tackle for some years. I mean, and remember, they replaced Matt Light, who was a 10-year player, with Nate Solder. What, now you're going to replace Solder with Isaiah Wynn, who I felt was one of the best tackles in the draft. I felt he had the most upside. He reminded me a lot of a guy we had here in Buffalo, Cordy Glenn.
Right, but is he going to fit into Belichick's scheme and the way he does things? He's a rookie. This is his first year. He might walk into that culture in that locker room and be like, oh, my God, this is insane. Like, who knows? So you got, but Gronk's going to be traded before the season starts. They're going to trade Gronk.
You think so?
Gronk is one of those dudes. He's at the end of his contract. He makes a lot of cash, and he's injury prone. That's the perfect Belichick move to dump somebody like that. So I think Gronk's going to be gone. And then that leaves you with Jordan Matthews, Cordell Patterson, Kenny Britt, Hogan, and Edelman. Once he figures out the drug test stuff, they're going to try to cheat their way out of that. They have an independent researcher looking into the sample. Whatever that means, they got to go forensic files with it. It's like, we know he cheated. Just accept it. But you got those to me are mid-level receivers. There's nobody that's really elite. And the Patriots in the past have beat us with regular receivers, guys they find off the streets, bucket free agents, because our secondary was not built to stop that. We had a weak secondary. Our secondary is built to stop those guys now. So when you go down this list and you compare the wide receivers of the Patriots to the secondary of the Bills, I'm not scared at all. I don't have any question. And they still have Stephon Gilmore as their corner. So Kelvin Benjamin's going to eat a big plate of Stephon Gilmore twice this year. He's going to eat twice off Gilmore, and I hope he just lets Gilmore know too. Just let Gilmore know. Gotta hate the Patriots. Got my blood pressure up. I'm sweating a little bit, but they don't scare me. They don't scare me. I'm sorry. Call me a homer. Call me a Bills fan to my heart. I don't see anybody on New England that scares me. Yeah, still Tom Brady, but you know what? One little smack to the ACL, and guess what? They're finishing last in the AFC East.
I tell you what, Bernard Pollard fell into that ACL a long time ago, and he's been kicking ass ever since. I'm gonna stop at Gilmore, man, because a lot of people know how I feel about Gilly. Gilly's my guy. Gilly is my guy, and I felt like we should have franchise tagged him or exclusive tagged him here in Buffalo. Gilly's my guy.
What are you talking about? He couldn't make a tackle. How many times? What's he got? Glass?
It was a business decision. The guy broke his collarbone twice.
No,
in the contract, I wasn't tackled either.
It was a you suck, you can't cover nobody within 5 yards decision. That's what it was. How many times was Gilmore picked apart like a coupon section?
I disagree. There was a lot of blown coverages. You know, Gilly's my guy. Yeah, look what he did to Alshon Jeffrey in the Super Bowl. He completely shut him down.
Did they win?
Hey, it wasn't on Gilmore's fault.
Did they win? I'm just
saying. But he's not on him. I mean, we're getting off topic. We're getting off topic here. You know, I'm not gonna let you get me all wrapped about Gilly, man. Gilly's still my guy. I wish he was still here in Buffalo.
I gotta poke you.
Yeah.
Get your weight, JT. We gotta get the blood flowing.
I'm gonna give you a name. All right. This is probably the biggest offseason addition for me for as far as New England goes. Jeremy Hill. This reminds me so much of the Antoine Smith pickup from years ago in Buffalo. The Corey Dillon pickup from the Bengals. Although Corey was a top back already. But I don't think people understand the severity because when they got Deion Lewis had a hell of a year last year. Hell of a year.
Yep.
What? When they played teams with fast linebackers, he was not as efficient. When you could fly to the ball and grab him.
Yep.
You get him in space.
If you look, New England only signed certain types of running back. The swing passes, the dump passes. They signed the Jeremy Hills. You know what I mean? They got the Lance Burkheads. You know what I mean? The little swifty backs. They tend to stick to a certain kind of back, if you've noticed. They all can do the same basic. They all have the basic skill sets that New England looks for. You're never going to find anybody that's going to run for 1,500 yards. But you're going to find the 2 or 3 guys that can catch out of the backfield, they can pick up blitzes, and they can give you the 5, 6, 7 yards when you need it most. So they always look for that Jeremy Hill type. So I think he's actually a perfect fit for what they do in New England.
You know what? Putting Jeremy Hill with Burkhead, and I don't know if Burkhead. I think Burkhead makes out of camp. I really do because they're also a special teamer. But putting Jeremy Hill with Sony Michel that they got from Georgia. This is the best backfield that I think New England has had in years.
And Tremaine Edwards is still going to smack him around. That's what I think.
Hey, I mean, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so.
Yeah, it's absolutely a solid backfield. They're absolutely, and with Brady able to still work play action, they're definitely going to be productive. You know what I mean? It's just what level can they produce to? Can they stay healthy? And what are they going to do when they lose to the Bills twice? I don't know.
Now, they also added Jordan Matthews from us. So I thought when we traded for Jordan Matthews, I thought he was crap. I'm on record for saying it. I thought he was trash. A lot of fans said, "Hey, we got to replace it for Watkins. You wanted to put the stats together and compare them." And I told people then, don't get enamored by the stats.
No,
I thought Matthews was crap.
Yeah, how many games last year did we watch that you didn't even hear his name? Like, I forgot he was on our team.
Every other game, he caught a slant or a drag, and that's all we heard from him. The guys, let's be honest, he may fit better in New England for what they do because he'll be the number 4 receiver or whatever he'll be at and getting the mismatches. But the guy's a 6'3" slot receiver with not so elite hands.
Yeah. I mean,
how about you be 6'3"? You go outside.
He'll get limited production. Brady will find him here and there. Same way he found Chris Hogan. Yeah, you know what I mean? Is Chris Hogan ready to go to the Hall of Fame? No. Is he a decent receiver? Yeah, because Tom Brady makes him look like a decent receiver. You know what I mean? You put Chris Hogan in Cincinnati or in Baltimore, and he's not going to be the same dude. Brady can find him, and that's what he's done his whole career. He takes guys that are mid-level, and he elevates them because he throws the ball like he does.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of him, but like I said, I think that at the end of the camp, he's gonna be on the roster bubble, because I think this name right here was one of my favorite picks in the draft, and I really wanted Buffalo to take this guy late, but I think we took Austin Proehl instead, or Ray McLeod, Braxton Berrios from University of Miami.
Yeah.
I watched this kid last year, University of Miami, just kill teams, 10, 11 catches a game at times. It wasn't huge yardage, but he's that New England type of guy. He's that next Amendola, that next Edelman.
Possession. He's a possession receiver.
Yeah. Inside, operating in tight spaces, and the guy has great hands. That's my guy. But when I do look at New England, I also look at how many people you have to replace. Amendola was huge with Edelman going down. Huge.
Yes, he was.
Malcolm Butler, he struggled last year. He did struggle, but I don't necessarily know if Earl Rose is going to replace him for full 16 games.
No, that's not going to happen. The drop
Brandon Cook, yeah, Brandon Cooks never really fit their system.
No, so that didn't surprise me at all that he moved. I didn't see him there as long term anyway.
Yeah,
but I do see with like the Gillislee signing and a couple other signings that the Patriots have had that haven't worked out, that the ever so prosperous Mr. Belichick that usually hits on everybody he signs is kind of starting to miss here and there. He's kind of losing his magic touch. Not everything he's touching is turning to gold. And I think we'll see that this year with this receiving core.
You know what? I think what it is as far as his touch goes, I think it's getting to the point now you can only have a dynasty for so long. Like through the history of time, empires have been built, but all empires must fall.
Game's changing.
And now it's getting to the point where you're getting 17, 18 years in, and you're getting more people to say, what about me? Where's mine?
Yep. Absolutely.
And Tom Brady has been the poster boy for character and behavior and how to operate for 15 years. But now he's being one of the defiant ones. So you're going to have more players that's willing to say, hey, what about me?
Exactly. Tom gets to do it this way. Why can't I do it this way? It's all weird, and it's going to fall, and it's going to crumble, and it's going to be beautiful, and I just can't wait to sit there and bask in all the pieces of it. I just can't wait. New England fans, I can't wait. I'll send you a Christmas card after it happens. I really will. But I just can't wait for it to happen. And looking at our defense, man, it's just, I see him eating. I see him eating off the whole AFC East this year. I see him eating against the Dolphins twice. I see him eating against the Jets twice. And I'll never pick New England to beat us because it's not in my DNA. So I got a 6-0 sweep for the AFC East for the Bills this year.
I'm gonna go with the split versus the Jets. It seems like we go up to New York a lot of times and we struggle up in New York. I don't know what it is, but we do. I'm gonna go with a split against the Jets. Miami, God knows, Miami has been another home game for us every year we go up to South Beach. It's been, that's always it feels very at home. There's a lot of blue in those stands. We're
taking two from Miami. We're taking two.
I'm taking two from Miami. And as far as New England goes, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna give New England 2 against us this year. I'm gonna give New England 2 against us.
You have no faith. Turn around and look at your wall. There's not a New England wall.
I can see the wall. I'm going to give New England 2 against us, but I think there may be a third matchup. I think there's going to be a third matchup. And when that third matchup comes, all I'm going to say is when Brady leaves off that field, we'll never see him come on the field again.
Ooh, I would love to give Brady his curtain call. But that still doesn't ease the fact you said we're going to drop 2 to him.
Hey, I'm trying to be realistic here. I feel like I'm going to give him 2, but I don't feel we're going to get those blowout games that we get, like the 31-14, the 37-14, the 40-21, 42-21. We get almost every year one of those. I don't think you'll get either one of those this year.
It's steps. It happens in steps. No playoffs. We made the playoffs. The next step is we take down New England. That's the next step in the process. That's the next step in the process. We take the playoff drought, smash it out the window, and now we move on to demolishing New England. Because that's what our team is built for. From the linebackers to the secondary to the defensive line. Our team, you don't shoot to beat the teams that are even with you or below you. You shoot to beat the teams that are ahead of you. Our team, position by position, was built to match up and beat the Patriots. And I think if everything goes to plan and Allen goes a little ahead of schedule, that happens this year.
All right. Well, so you got the Jets winning how many games this year?
I'll get a Jets 4.
4?
Give them 4. They got to score points. They got a good defense, but they got to score points. Where are the points coming from? Look down this roster on their starting offense and tell me where points come from. There are no points.
I'm gonna be gracious. I'm gonna give the Jets 7. I'm gonna give them 7. I'm gonna be gracious and give them 7.
7.
Give them 7.
Twice, New England twice. They got to squeeze them in somewhere.
Give them 7.
They got a tough schedule.
Give them 7.
Gracious at 4.
Give them 7. Give them 7. Miami. Now, I know I'm asking you again. How many did you give Miami?
6.
6. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm giving Miami 4.
Oh, okay.
Give them 4.
Flip-flopping with me. You think the Jets are going to be better than the Dolphins?
Yeah. There's still there's no stability in Miami to me. There's still no stability. And I think it comes from an ownership group because it's constant turnover, and I don't see Adam Gase making it through the season. And you're going to be right back to where you were again. Yep. Every 3 years, they're at the same point. You can't build like that.
Nope.
You just can't.
Monster agrees with your point.
How many wins you giving New England?
I give New England 11. 11-2. They lose both to Buffalo.
I'm giving New England 11.
Yeah.
I'm giving them 11 myself. I feel like in the beginning of the season, with Edelman being out, and not that Edelman's everything, but you don't have Amendola to come in and replace him this time around.
I'm telling you, they're going to weasel out of the suspension. Same thing they did with Brady. They're going to prolong. It's going to go to the Supreme Court. They're going to call Judge Judy. They're going to take it out. They're going to drag it out. And it's so ridiculous. The Players Association needs to get with the NFL, and they need to agree on penalties and suspension. So when they're handed out, the players just know, hey, we agree. We're not going to appeal it. You just got to serve it. Like, look at Ezekiel Elliott last year. How much did it hurt the Cowboys that Zeke kept prolonging that?
I just don't think. I think New England are they're out of lives. I think they're out of lives. I don't think they have any more get out of jail free cards. This ain't Monopoly, and they're not land. They don't have a get out of jail card this time.
Yeah, but you know what? They got a lot of cash, and that can make up for a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, I don't see him getting out of it. But I am going to give New England 11. Let's go back to New England a couple of years ago. Remember when they had the young offensive line a couple of years ago, and it wasn't working well? Brady was getting hit every game, repeatedly. And they brought Starsnek, I think his name is Snarnekia, out of retirement, like week 5 or 6, and he came in and he got the offensive line together. There is no Snarnekia coming out of retirement again. So if they don't get these guys together, it's going to be a long season. But it's New England. The guy passes the ball within 3 seconds almost every play.
Maybe they sign Richie.
Yeah, that head case. Last time I heard of Richie, he was trying to beat somebody with a barbell in a Miami gym.
Hey man, them dudes take them weights seriously. I had a dude chase me around one time, trying to wipe the machine off. I'm like, I'm sorry, I know the etiquette. You don't gotta try to kill me for it.
Well, he also said that the FBI was probing him and watching, or that he was an FBI agent. So,
Yeah, Richie, that's a little. You don't work for the feds, Richie. Come on.
I probably wouldn't hire Richie. Probably would be pretty noticeable. All right, buy or sell. All right, we're going to do this buy or sell. 2 playoff teams from the AFC East.
Oh, I got to buy it. Bills and the Patriots.
I'm buying Bills Patriots both of the playoffs. Buying it. Definitely gonna buy it. I'm seeing the rankings again. Like they're giving us lower rankings this year than they did last year.
But we're an unknown product this year. They have nothing to base it off.
Well, I mean, we gotta at least give us 6 wins. I'm seeing 4-12 and 3-13.
Good. Then we're gonna make a lot of people angry when we start just squashing people left and right. And Allen's chucking it for 325 and 3 touchdowns.
Yep, and I do believe Josh Allen will be starting at some point.
Week 1.
Buy or sell. Adam Gase will be fired during the season.
Based on what I gave him as a win prediction, I think before the season ends, he's out of a job. I think they're going to tell him to hit the bricks. I just don't see him pulling it together after the win total and the season and just doing anything. And like I said, their quarterback situation is a tire fire. Tannehill's not going to be there. I'm telling you. You're going to go back and you're like, wow, Monster was right. Yeah, I know how it works. Knee injuries are a big deal.
I'm going to buy that Gase is going to be fired in the year. Not because necessarily the production, because I think when they got him, they were okay with the long-term plan. And he kind of exceeded expectations at first, and now they're coming back down to reality. I'm just going to buy him getting fired because I think the guy's a jerk.
Honeymoon's
I
over.
think the guy's just a jerk. And I don't think he has the respect of his players. I don't think they respect him. I think it showed last year. And in this day and age, like you said, with a $54 million age, no one respects a jerk. They just don't play for you.
They don't have to.
No.
I got $40 million in the bank. I'm not gonna let you talk to me like I'm 6.
I got $40 million and 20s guaranteed.
Right. I don't need you.
Go on.
Adam who?
Get out of here. Buy or sell. Tannehill recovers from the knee injury.
I'm gonna 100% sell this, JT. I already said it. You don't come back from the injury he's had twice. One time, maybe. Twice, no. There's still stuff I can't do when I did mine, and I had a top surgeon redo my knee, and there's still stuff I can't do with it. So just playing that profession and their line being just Swiss cheese, there's no way he's gonna get killed. He's gonna get killed. Same way Andrew Luck gets killed. It's gonna be a horror show. I feel sorry for the kid, but I think his career's over, and it sucks because he's young and he had a lot more to prove. But I think with his injury, no, I absolutely 100% sell this dude. He's not going to come back from it. I don't think if he starts, he makes it past week 4.
I'm going to buy it. Not only do I think I'm going to buy it, not only do I think he's going to make it. I think he's going to make it through the whole season. I think he's going to be somewhat productive. I don't think the team will be that good. But I see him going somewhere else after this season. But I'm going to buy it.
I see a bet in the future between me and you about Ryan Tannehill in a future episode.
Yeah, bring it on. Bring it on. Scared money don't make money, man. I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. What I like to hear.
Buy or sell. Juan Castillo can fix Buffalo's offensive line problems, or holes, we should say, right? On paper.
I'm going to buy it simply because if KB's healthy, if McCoy still is McCoy, and either McCarron, if any one of them steps up, it's gonna relieve stress from the offensive line. You know what I mean? And give them time to gel and develop. If we don't have anybody under center that can sustain a drive or can get the ball out quickly or at least run the offense with a little bit of pressure, you know what I mean? They don't have to completely give the guy a clean pocket, but just allow enough time for him to read and make a play. If McCarron steps up or Allen steps up to be that guy, then I think they'll be okay, honestly. And I think Castillo. So I'm going to buy it.
I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it personally because I don't like Juan Castillo. I like the pieces they have on offensive line. I think it's very underrated. But I think Castillo's a terrible coach.
Why don't you like
I
him?
think
something?
I think he's a terrible coach. I think he's overrated. I think he's been terrible. If you go back to his days in Philadelphia, which is what he's known for, is Philadelphia, right? He had Trey Thomas and John Runyon.
Yeah, the Philly days don't mean nothing. What have you done lately?
He hasn't done anything. And he brought Vlad DeCoste with him. And I think Vlad DeCosta is terrible. And we're penciling him at left guard. The guy's terrible.
Yeah, Vlad was a bad move. But Vlad was an absolute bad move. I didn't agree
And
with that
Vlad's
move
his guy.
I don't
And
like Vlad.
if you're rolling, if Vlad's your guy and you're rolling with Vlad, I ain't rolling with you. I'm not rolling with you anywhere. So if anybody out there, if you're riding with Vlad DeCosta, I ain't with you. I'm on the opposite side of the road. I think DeCosta is terrible.
I didn't understand why they didn't play Miller more.
Because he didn't like Miller, because he likes powerful linemen with long arms. He likes powerful linemen with long arms. And that's what DeCosta is, and that's all he is. I think he's terrible. That's it. I think he's terrible.
Maybe he likes big hugs.
Well, maybe so. I guess. He's going to need one after he's canned after this year or halfway through the year.
You heard it here first.
Boom. Gone. Goodbye, Juan Castillo. Get out of here. And for the last buy or sell, the Patriot being spited for future books and information?
Oh, absolutely buy it. They've been cheating for 20 years. You don't run it that long and your secrets not come out. New England, we know you got more secrets, and we're going to find out in the future, and they're going to come out, and they're going to be strange, and it's going to get weird for a bit, and you're going to look at it and go, what in the? But it's going to be glorious for all of us fans. But absolutely, there's something wrong with New England. That franchise is weird. They rub me the wrong way. I see it being very robotic. I see there being a lot of dirtiness going on behind the scenes. Like, you don't stay at that level for so long and cut corners here and there. Like, we know a few of the corners, but how many more don't we know about? What about the stuff in the other Super Bowls, playoff games, regular season games, stuff in the locker room, free agents they tampered with? You know what I mean? Brady's special Botox surgeon, whatever. You know what I mean? Well, what's gonna come out in the wash? This regime is gone, and people start spilling secrets like Jose Canseco. I think it's gonna be very interesting, and I think it's gonna be awesome to watch, and I can't wait to enjoy it with all the Bills fans.
It's going to be the employees. That's who's going to drop them. It's going to be the employees looking for extra change. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be employees. So I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy it. Definitely going to buy that. I think it's going to happen. Somebody's going to need money in 10 years. Maybe 5. Maybe 2.
I think it'll come out quick. I think it'll be quick.
Yeah. All right. Well, so now we have to give our record prediction for Buffalo this season. What do you have?
16-0. Bam, we run the table. No, give us I think 10-6. 10-6, maybe 9-7. I think we're going to be. I think it's going to be another one just like last year. I'm hoping that at the end our fate doesn't lie in somebody else's hands. It just so happened to work out last year, and Bills fans got to realize that. Like, we didn't make the playoffs without Andy Dalton and the stuff that happened. But I think if we can finish at 10-6 with the rest of the wild card, I mean, you take the division winners and you put them where they're going to be. You know, most of them are easy to predict. But I think with the wild card teams and what we have, as long as we hit on McCarron or we hit on Allen, I think 10-6 is realistic. 9-7 scares me, but it wouldn't surprise me.
With the addition of Tremaine Edmonds, who I think is going to be one of the biggest rookie impacts in all of the NFL, and we've seen this trend for some years now. These linebackers are coming out of college ready to play, unless you lack athleticism, which he does not.
I hope he clothesline Gronks. Boom.
Gronk's a big guy. I mean, Tremaine's a big guy, but Gronk is a big guy. I think that with that addition, that's going to be huge. I think you added some veteran pieces like Devontae Davises of the world, and I know they're actually in the supplemental draft right now, watching that kid from Western Michigan who played as possible first-round pick. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them make one more move.
That would be solid. We need that depth.
I feel like we have about 100 defensive linemen coming into camp. And at some point, at least 4 have to work.
You never have too many defensive linemen.
No, we've learned that from the old Giants teams when they were rotating 6 to 7 guys. I think that this defense is going to be very formidable. I think last year it was a very opportunistic defense, that we should say.
Yeah.
You know, bend but don't break. I'm not sure if this is going to be a bend but don't break defense, and it's not necessarily going to be just straight out dominant, in my opinion.
I agree. But if you remember when we got all those turnovers and we were opportunistic, we were getting pass rush. Then Darius left, the turnovers went away. But now we got Starr, You know what I mean? We got Harrison Phillips, we got Kyle, we can throw Adolphus Washington in there.
Bouvier.
Right, they're gonna rotate out a lot. So I think with that pressure coming back, it's gonna force those quarterbacks, and I think our defense will be more opportunistic, and we'll see those turnovers.
Yeah, definitely don't sleep on Eddie Yarbrough as well. That's a name that he made his way up the depth chart last year. He actually was a starter a couple games. So I would see some improvement for him. And like I said, I'm buying the fact that I believe Shaq Lawson have a breakout year. If he does, if I'm Buffalo, I still would not pay that guy. That guy's a walking overweight payment later if you do that. So I would not pay him, but I believe he's going to have a good year. I mean, is there anything else you want to touch on before we take off?
No, man, I just want the season to start. I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to go. You guys know me. I'm ready to bring it every single week. It's Monster Monday, so I don't have anything else. It's a beautiful sunny day. The 4th of July is coming. Everybody make sure you have a safe holiday for the 4th. Me and JT will as well. Don't blow your fingers off because then you can't come back and, you don't want to do that. Safety is the key. Take it from Monster. So I still got all my digits. So hope everybody enjoyed it. That's all I got for this week, JT.
Hey, man, it was a great show, episode 3. I mean, I guess we'll get early in the week, start preparing episode 4 after we finish our July 4th drinks.
Couple wobbly pops.
Like I said, please don't JPP and blow your fingers off. That's all I have. Like I said, tune in my man Monster tonight on the Get Up. What you got tonight, man?
7:30. I'm out of football content. We're going to talk football. We're going to Bron, Dale, and Cleveland and go into the sunshine. We're going to talk NHL draft. We're going to talk about John Tavares. I'm going to cover everything tonight. It's not going to be just about football. So tune in 7:30. Get some of that.
And before we take off, do not forget we have a GoFundMe Camp Good Days fundraiser. You know, honestly, we're trying to do a good thing and help these kids pay for their events and stuff over the summer. They do a lot of good things at Camp Good Days for kids with cancer and leukemia. So I mean, like I said, it's on Facebook. We're sharing it. Donate, share it. What you can, $2 doesn't matter. It's $2. So ask for $2. We get enough people in. We'll give these kids an eventful summer, and that's what we're trying to do. And also, I will be going up to Camp Good Days and volunteering myself. And I know Monster will try to drag Monster with me when I'm up there this summer, and we do some things.
Monster's good with the volunteer work, but yeah, Monster loves the kids. There's nothing I wouldn't do for the kids. So if you can give, great. If you can't give, that's cool. Just share it. Make it aware to somebody else. We appreciate anybody, one single share. We appreciate it. Get the word out. It's a great organization. They do a lot for these kids and their families. And if you were a family that needed to lean on this organization, definitely wanted to be there. So we want to make sure it keeps going and show them a little support and fund them as best we can here with this fundraiser.
Hey, definitely. So like I said, this is episode 3 of the Live at 5 Throwdown. But we'll be back next week. Same time, same place. We see you there. So we are out of here. Peace.
We're out.